All right. Well, good afternoon. All right. A little energy here in the room. Good afternoon. I know I've had an opportunity to meet some of you so far for my first week. My name is Art Pimentel, and I'm the new president of Folsom Lake College, and I'm so very, very happy to be here with all of you for as we kick off the spring 2023 semester. So want to start us off with some introductions of individuals who are here. We have some of our district leadership here. We have our board president, Trustee John Knight, who is joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Trustee Knight, for being here. And we also have our Chancellor, Chancellor Brian King, who's also joining us this afternoon. So welcome to Convocation Spring 2023. We have obviously all of you who are joining us in person, and we also have individuals who are joining us online. So thank you so much for being here. I'm the only part of the program, so I wanted to be able to introduce myself and share a little bit about my background and some information and data and things that we're looking ahead for the spring semester. So a little bit about my background, just so all of you know that my priority in my life is my daughter. I have a 9-year-old daughter, Isabella, and that's the best, father is the best title that I've ever had. And secondly is my work in education. But this picture of my daughter and I was taken in Palais Garnier in Paris. We took her to Paris this summer. And for me, it's really important for her to have that global connection and democracy, and I think we also want that for our students as well. But for me, this is a priority, and she enjoyed it very, very much. She's a third grader, and so you'll probably hear me. I think already some of you have asked me. I do tend to talk a lot about my daughter. In terms of my educational background, I was born in Woodland. I've been raised in the Sacramento region. I attended Sacramento State University for both my bachelor's of social sciences and my master's of arts and education. And then I wanted to spread the joy of myself, so I went to UC Davis for my doctorate. So I'm sometimes conflicted with the Causeway Classic with Stingers up and Aggies, but I make it through. I always root for the winner. So in terms of my career, so I have almost 18 years of experience in the community college system. I dabbled a little bit as a lecturer at Sacramento State, working for the College Assistant Migrant Program, did a lot of their career readiness workshops and classes, focused on that for a year. And then I was hired by Woodland Community College. So in my almost 18 years in the community college system, I've only worked in two districts, the Yuba Community College District and the Los Rios District. And I started off as a classified professional staff member, working for the college president at that time, working public information, community relations, government relations, and then was hired to serve as the director of TRIO programs, which really kind of started a lot of my passion for focusing on equity and disenfranchised and marginalized communities, because some of you who may not be familiar with TRIO programs, they're federally funded programs that focus on supporting first-generation low-income students. And the purpose of the programs is really to make sure that our students that the program serves are finishing high school and then transitioning directly into college. And so they're wonderful programs that really support those students with the background which I share. Then I was appointed to serve as an executive dean, then came to Los Rios, and I was appointed to serve as the campus dean for the West Sacramento Center for Sacramento City College. And I did that for almost 5 years before doing a short stint at our district office as a director of student services and education. And I did that for 6 months before I was recruited to serve as the president of Woodland Community College back in July of 2019. And now, of course, I'm here with all of you, and I'm just so very honored and privileged to be joining the FLC family, and I look forward to working with all of you. My passion is education. My background, I'm the son of migrant farm workers, so I'm a first-generation student, financial aid recipient, English learner that really has a background that serves a lot of the students that we are serving in our system and in our communities in the community college system. So I fervently believe in our mission and our values as a college, as a community college, to what we're offering and the access and opportunity that we offer to transform lives. And so for me, I feel privileged and honored to be able to lead our institution and work closely with all of you and our district leadership to make sure that we are providing the services that reflect the communities that we are serving, both in Folsom and Rancho Cordova and El Dorado counties, of course. So why FLC? I think hopefully you know that comes across that I just am very excited to have this opportunity to work with you. What is not to love about Folsom Lake College? You're very community-oriented, you're innovative, you're focused on equity, you're focused on the communities that we are serving, and was very clear to me, it was very clear, and it is very clear to me through all of your documents and planning. Through all your documents and planning of what your goals are, what the mission of the institution are. And it makes me very excited when I started thinking about applying for Folsom Lake College, all of the work that's happening and that connection of getting the support that we need from our district to be able to implement the mission and vision and goals that all of you have helped develop for the betterment of our students. And I share the values that the college shares, that our district shares when it comes to respect and collegiality and communication, transparency. To me, those are values that are very important, and it's how I will work as a college president here at FLC with all of you. I wanted to share a little bit of data because I've been learning. Like I said, this is my first week, day 5, but I've been working very closely with our vice presidents, our district folks, many of you, and so just to share some of the data that we have about where we are in terms of our students, and some really good news. Of course, we know the impact that the COVID pandemic had on our student enrollments, and how we had to quickly pivot to online, and many of our students decided weren't just decided that they were going to wait to come back to school, but you see that for the most part the last 5 years we've been on an upward trajectory, and the pandemic really caused us to see a decline in enrollment. This really was something that I think all of you probably have read in multiple newspapers and media outlets about, that this isn't an FLC issue, or it wasn't a Los Rios, it was really a statewide and a national issue when it comes to education. And now the wonderful thing is that the work that all of you are doing, being led by our vice presidents and our folks in our district, we are not declining anymore, not just not declining anymore, but we are actually growing. And I really want to I think we all should give each other a round of applause, because this spring compared to last spring, FLC is up 11.66%. So let's give a round of applause. Kudos to everyone who has supported in these efforts of bringing back our students. I wanted also to share a little bit of information about race and ethnicity of our district, of our college. And so just wanted to share some information of where we are, a snapshot. This is spring 2021 data. And so when we have the new updated numbers, we'll make sure that that information is distributed accordingly. But we're very proud as a college to serve a very diverse population. One of the things that I do want us to focus on, because we do a lot of wonderful, innovative work, and all of you are working as diligently as possible to serve our students, there are some areas that we need to improve. And one of the goals of the institution, and I see it through the planning and our equity plans that the college has developed, is making sure that we're focusing on closing the equity gaps that exist within several areas of our student body. So we have work to do when it comes to our Black students, our Latino, multi-race, and Native American students, making sure that we are, as we're developing the different programming, different opportunities and approach to addressing these equity gaps, that we focus on these 4 different groups. Because we do, if you look at the success rates of those 4 groups and then the average in comparison to the other groups, that is an area of opportunity that I want us to make sure that we focus on, and I know all of you do as well. And there's been a lot of work that has already happened to try to make sure we're addressing, right? We have the district's equity goals and making sure we're focusing on those, but we also have things that we have developed internally and things that have developed externally, right? AB 705, AB 1705, I was talking to some of the faculty earlier about that. But guided pathways, dual enrollment is very important to me as, and I know to the college, as an equity strategy, right? Addressing, we know what research shows that the sooner, especially when it comes to students of color, the sooner that we introduce college to them in the K through 12 system, the more likelihood they are to come to college and then of course be successful in whatever educational goal that they select. So dual enrollment, access to technology, right? We serve some very rural communities, El Dorado Center as an example. We want to make sure, especially in these times where many of our services and courses are being offered online, that we improve and expand that access to those students. And in some ways, actually in many ways, the COVID pandemic has really shown some light on what we can do to be able to reach those students through online education and online services. Open education resources, and then of course the Promise program, right? Rancho Cordova Promise program, the college and the district really led and was a pioneer in developing a model, a very successful model that is now being used regionally by other agencies, by other cities, and help support along and work together in partnership with their own individual community college. So those are wonderful things that we are working on and we will continue to work on. The other piece that I wanted to share is just the retention rates by ethnicity. Average retention rate is 84.2. And I'm not going to continue, but again, here are some of the areas and opportunities that exist and our focus here throughout the spring semester and, of course, beyond. Unit load, share a little bit of information about our students and how many of our students are taking 12 or more units. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to nudge our students. Again, we look at data, we look at research. If our students are taking 12 or more units, they are more likely to be retained and they're more likely to graduate. So we want to focus and continue to focus on nudging students to take one more class. And I know the district, through different communications, has been really focused on that, and so has our college. So we need to reduce, those 60% of students who are taking classes only part-time. And we know why, right? Many of our students work, many of our students have family obligations, and so how can we support students and provide the services, provide the navigational capital that they need on-site, on campus, or virtually, so that they can take an additional class and know that they have the support from the institution to be able to do that and to complete sooner. This is hot off the press. This was shared earlier this week, and I wanted to provide, just for all of you, the data for the spring semester. So if you could see, the purple bar shows how many of our total students are taking their classes at Folsom Lake College 100% online. So 56% of our students enrolled in spring are 100% online. And 16% of our student body are taking their classes 100% in person. And then we have 22 and a half that are taking their classes hybrid. They're taking some in person and some online. And we're a little bit higher when it comes to fully online across the district, but for the most part, this is kind of an average of what we're seeing with our other colleges. So what do we do to support our students pre-pandemic? So really, our focus needs to be and continues to be to focus on building a college of care, right? Making sure that we are being student ready and meeting the needs of the students, meeting our students where they are. So we have a variety of different services that are focused on basic needs, right? The expansion of the Falcon Care program, student food cabinets, we offer those on site as well. We have the vouchers that we also provide for housing. We support our students with the application for CalFresh, and then we also work with the community partners to have food distributions on site on a monthly basis. And so those are wonderful services that we offer to our most neediest students. And we have data that shows that we've served well over 1,000 students when it comes to basic needs, and those are unduplicated students. And that was just shared by our Vice President of Student Services, Kelly Butler. So we track how many of our students are really utilizing these services. And then, of course, we have emergency grants and other different types of services that we offer that focus specifically on basic needs. One of the things that I first learned, so when I was going through the hiring process, I had an opportunity to learn to meet with our student leadership, and they had an opportunity to ask me lots of questions, and some of them were kind of tough. But several of their questions focused on mental health and wellness. And that to me showed the interest of our student leadership and what they want to prioritize. And they want to prioritize access to mental health and wellness services for our students. And the college and the district has been listening. And so right now, in the fall semester, we were offering about one day where a mental health therapist was on site. And the plan now is to offer 3 days, 3 full days, and have a mental health therapist on site to make sure that our students have access to those services. And to me, that is, of course, moving in the right direction. And as we offer those services, we will assess the data and how much more services we need. Do we need to expand them further to make sure that we're providing the mental health services that our students need? There's also opportunities that the college is planning to offer group therapy and workshops. And then there is medical and mental telehealth services through Time Care that we offer 24/7 for our students. So promoting those services will also be key as we expand them, and then we assess the data on how many of our students are utilizing them, and then from there be able to share what we need to go and expand. We want to make sure that every one of our students that is thinking about coming to Folsom Lake College or is at Folsom Lake College has a sense of belonging, that we're develop a community. And every one of our students, regardless of their background, economic, ethnicity, knows that they belong at FLC and that we're here to support them. So we want to make sure that we continue a lot of the work that has been happening. We want to make sure that we continue to connect with the community, connect with our K through 12 partners, connect with the county offices of education, connect with our business and community leaders to make sure that we're serving and providing the needs and meeting the needs of the community. But that we're also focused on doing in-reach and outreach to traditionally marginalized communities. And that is a direct goal of the different equity plans that we have. And I think there's certainly opportunities for us to be able to do that. And then through that, we increase our presence in the different communities that we also serve, right? Folsom and Rancho Cordova, El Dorado. So what's going on in spring? a lot of things, but one of the really exciting news that some of you probably have already heard, but one of the equity strategies that started back in 2016 by FLC and has now expanded and really something that is a signature program for our district and Folsom Lake College is the PrEP program. And we just recently learned that the federal government had an earmark of $950,000 for FLC's program to expand course offering and services to our students in the PrEP program. And let's give a round of applause for that. Since 2016, we have enrolled over 7,000 students in that program, and I've offered 260 courses. And Mari, the director, actually just shared. I'm gonna actually use it. They developed. Have any of you seen that coloring book that was developed by some of the students? Amazing. They have some really interesting recipes in there that I'm going to try to see if maybe we could share some of those with some of you and make them. But it's just a phenomenal program. And again, it really shows and reflects the values of the institution, the values of our district, to be able to focus on students, our reentry students, and focus on educating our students. So that, to me, really is a clear value of where we are. Then, of course, we have, just in terms of facilities, we have the grand opening of the Equity Center that is coming up on February 1st, which is the slide that you have in front of you. But we also have some other facilities that will be opening this spring, including the Health and Wellness Center and also the Ondocu Falcons Center that will also be opening this spring, and we'll be able, of course, to share the dates of when that will happen. And all of you seen the construction and the ground moving for our new science building, and that is also exciting for the college, the district, and certainly the community that are looking forward to that science building. And I know to our math and science faculty, because that's the first thing they've mentioned to me almost every time when I've met with some of you. And then we're going to have graduation in May. So last year it was, I believe, outside. And this year we're going to plan for our graduation to be inside, and we're planning for it to be right here in the Harris Center. So that is, of course, exciting for all of us. And then just a final thought for all of you as I get to meet you individually, and many of you I have already. But there's one of my favorite quotes that I have from Albert Einstein that is, try not to become a person of success, rather become a person of value. And I think that's, as educators, that's what we all want. All of you are touching the lives of students, transforming and inspiring our students to be able to reach their goals and become individuals of value. And that's what I would want you to know in terms of just a message, that we focus on inspiring and developing the next generation of successful scholars in our communities. And that's going to be certainly my goal, and what I'm going to do here to support all of you in making sure that we are meeting our mission and our vision for our college. So with that, I want to wish you a wonderful spring semester. I look forward to, if I haven't already, connecting with you individually, meeting you, and I wish you the best in the spring semester. So go Falcons. So that actually concludes our convocation for the day. The next round of applause for finishing early. Right?